You're listening to an Airwave Media podcast.
Recorded in Chicago, Illinois, with your hosts, Ken, Matt, Neal, and Jeff. This
Can you dig it?
Welcome to Trick or Triviality 8 in the Hood.
Triv Fast, Triv Furious.
Triv Fast, Triv Furious. What else?
The Leprechaun.
The Leprechaun. Yes, make sure you stay tuned all the way to the end of the episode and find out the true identity of the Zodiac Killer. We're going to reveal that at the end. So don't turn off this podcast.
Yep. Is it someone from San Francisco?
It's Jeff.
Jeff. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Gave away
Sorry,
the
I was
spoiler.
too excited.
it's
I was too
exclusive for
excited.
Patreon members, actually. It'll be
That's a good way to do it.
Matt's over there smiling and not letting the smile go away. How are you, Matt?
I'm doing great. We got to hurry this up. I got to get my candy X-rayed before the end of the night, though, because it's very important.
Nobody's giving you weed gummies for free, Matt.
I know.
Sorry to say.
Man can dream.
Well, I know Jeff has a house, for Halloween, which means he can hand out
I do
stuff.
have a home the rest of the year,
why
too.
he
But
So thanks to our wonderful patrons.
But you're the only one of us who can give candy out to
Right.
children.
that's true.
We don't have the capability of doing that, but thankfully that you do have a
Or
home.
legally. You
I was
also
going to say, you
Or
imply
legally.
there's a restraining order situation, which is not true. We're all
No,
allowed
we just
to.
live in apartments. Nobody knocks on apartments,
Nobody knocks on the door, and thanks to our wonderful patrons, Jeff's going to have at least 200 GIMP masks to hand out to the kids this year. So
And full-size Snickers. Do you give out the full-size?
I wish. One day I hope to be wealthy enough to be a full-size household. I want to be known as the full-size
Want to be known?
household.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want notoriety for much.
Until then, you're just the guy who hands out dimes.
you know who else had a full-size household, or was known as the full-size household? The Holmes family. That's a joke for our guest, who's just slightly older than us. But so excited to have him back this year. One of our Patreon supporters and good friends, Justin Shady. How are you?
I am good. How are you guys?
Doing great. What number Trick or Triviality is this for you?
This is number 4. I was, saying before that I had to go back and read through some of my old ones because I didn't save the questions. But yeah, it's a lot of horrific stuff. A lot of horrific.
I'm always
trivia.
clamoring for this Halloween episode. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's
Really?
always a great time.
Oh, thanks.
That's right.
And for people at home, tell us a little bit about yourself for those who don't remember.
I'm a writer. I do things. I write things. There's nothing to talk about. I don't exist online. I don't know. Yeah.
So you got nothing to plug at the end.
So I
You
have
can't
nothing to
find me.
plug. I'm not.
He
yeah,
mostly
no.
just writes private love letters.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Like that one president,
Yes.
Yeah.
Harding.
Yeah.
Harding, yeah.
Well, now this is your 4th time doing it. We're excited to play the game. I don't remember what the teams were last time, but we have teams for today, Ken.
That's right. One of my favorite horror movies, the one set horror movie that takes place entirely inside of a car, the Lexus Chainsaw Massacre.
Those
I love
poor
it.
leather
And,
seats.
yeah, it is the poor leather seats. And then Jeff, we wanted to do a famous horror movie about trying to exercise a Bluetooth connection between your phone and the car. What is that movie?
The Lexorcist.
Ooh, scary. It's Lexus on Lexus. Me and Matt versus Jeff and Neal. Let's get Darren doing a Dracula impression.
The rules of the game are simple. 20 questions split into 2 rounds worth 10 points apiece. At halftime, there'll be a special swing round designed by this week's host. After regulation, players will enter the final round with the points that they've accumulated and will have a chance to wager 0 to 30 points on 5 categorized questions. At the end of the game, someone will be named the cream of the crop.
It just sounded like Darren, to be honest.
It did.
I'm going to be honest. That time,
I'm not familiar with that Dracula, actually.
Very Midwestern.
Well, shall we jump right in?
Let's do it.
Wait, before we do, just a reminder, things might be a little grim on this episode as it happens. So if you're listening with children, just, get them ready for it.
I prefer to listen to these episodes bound and gagged, but that's just me.
Whoa.
Whatever works for you, Neal.
We're learning a lot about Neal.
All right, let's jump on in.
All right. Round 1, question 1. Gooble gobble, gooble gobble. In June 1918, just south of Chicago, 86 employees of Hagenbeck and Wallace were killed in one of the worst train wrecks in American history. Most victims were buried as unknown males and females in a section called Showman's Rest, but some gravestones feature inscriptions like Smiley, Baldy, and 4-horse driver. What type of business was Hagenbeck and Wallace?
We're going to lock in. We think we have a good idea about this.
Matt,
Yes.
do you know about this? Because I feel like I do.
I feel like I've also heard this, and then the Google Gobble leads me towards the big tops. Is that what we're looking at? Is this a circus?
Yeah, so I believe the Showman's Rest is actually in Woodlawn Cemetery, right over by us, and you can see some of the elephant gravestones that are placed, and I think it was a circus, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we agree. We've been to Woodlawn, which is about 2 minutes away, and I think the legend was people thought they heard the elephant screaming, but it's just the nearby train that goes by right by there. But yeah, we thought it was circus.
Yeah, so points for both teams. In 1918, Hagenbeck and Wallace was the country's second largest traveling circus, only behind Ringling Brothers. And yeah, it is right by you guys. It's very, very close. So I was surprised to see how close that was, actually.
Should have recorded today's episode from there.
Maybe
next year's
from a ceremony, cemetery. Yeah,
Jeff's getting overcome with supernatural.
getting possessed over here.
You're speaking in tongues.
All right,
Who's
question
that
number.
Ouija board.
All right, question number 2. Excellent. One of the most insane medieval torture devices is called the Pear of Anguish. And that's PEAR, of anguish. Though there is no evidence of any torture devices ever being used, how do some historians believe the Pear of Anguish would have been used?
It's just a pear that's a little overripe, correct?
I think they make you eat the core.
It's a little mushy.
It's actually not ripe enough.
Oh, that's worse. Yeah, it's like from one of those pear trees. You want the pear to be good.
Oh, like the one in my backyard. And
Yeah,
it's
never
tastes like sand.
Just never ripens.
No,
What was it called again? The pear of what?
The Pear of Anguish.
I know what the device looks like and how it functions.
You do?
So Jeff's locked
It's in
in.
Jeff's
My only
basement,
question
yeah.
is exactly how it was utilized.
It's
the
usually
question.
with the butt, but we'll see what happens. We'll lock in.
I think you sit like on the top of it, and then they pull your legs.
Oh, okay. I
down
thought this was going
onto-
a different
like
direction.
like a saddle.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I thought this was a pear that you sat on and see what happens. But I think I think yours is right. We can go
Okay.
with that.
So I think it's a mechanical device that looks like a pear and is inserted in an orifice. Name one, I'm not sure. And then it is opened. It's just cranked open.
Oh.
And so it just spreads out inside the...
Well, one man's anguish is another man's deep pleasure.
Well, there are limits to that. And I think the limits get reached with the pear of anguish.
Okay.
All right, so yeah, points to the Lexorcist. So the Pear of Anguish is
Well,
exactly...
he's got experience. It's not fair.
So the Pear of Anguish is also known as the choke pear, which is literally exactly what he said. What Jeff said. It is a pear-shaped metal device that is inserted into any human orifice. Take your pick, and then it slowly cranks open like a blooming flower to spread out. Although what's funny is if you look this up again, like there is no historical proof of any of these torture devices being used. So some historians believe it is just a really brutal looking fruit juicer.
I thought you were going to say
Like that's not even a joke. That's a real thing.
Yeah.
historians have discovered what appears to be one man's BDSM room.
All right. Question number 3, bottles and cans. A human skeleton contains 206 bones, and of them, 172 are paired bones, meaning they occur on both the left and right sides of the body. In what part of the body do most paired bones occur?
I would say probably either the hands or the feet.
I was thinking hands. There's a lot of phalanges. There's a lot of.
Do you think it's the feet?
You think it's the feet?
The feet tend to be, well, which one do you think has more little,
Little bones.
Yeah, I kind of imagine the feet having more. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know.
I think if
I'll leave it up to you. We
I
could
think
say
if
hands.
each finger's probably got like 4 bones. You're looking at
In reverence towards that great where's hands? I need hands meme. Let's say hands.
idle hands.
And we said that this is one of Neal's favorite things, the human foot.
Oh, wow. Okay, so points to Lexus Chainsaw Massacre. The human foot has 26 bones in it, so 52 paired bones, but the human hand contains 27 bones or 54 paired bones. And of the human skeleton, more than a quarter are in our hands and more than half are in both of our hands and feet. So,
Wow.
And the clue there in the beginning was bottles and cans, which is a Beck song, but I'm old.
Clap your hands.
There you go. Here we go. Okay, question number 4, Neal's Heaven and Hell. A half million
again.
Yeah.
A 500,000 people visit the catacombs of Paris each year, which is nothing compared to the estimated 6 million skeletons who reside there permanently. Stretching nearly 175 miles long, the ossuary has yet to be fully explored, with much of it off limits to the public. But in 2004, police found a fully operational business in the catacombs, 65 beneath the Trocadero. What was this business?
All right, so you said this was Neal's Heaven and Hell. So Neal, are you locked in here?
Yeah, I know the French pretty well. And I have a feeling I know what they would have put down there.
Okay.
So we're going to lock in.
Little cafe maybe?
Yeah.
A little croissant?
I think that the humidity would be rough down there.
Yeah,
but not good for the bread.
Sometimes you just need a little espresso and a cigarette. So, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm good with bistro. If it's
Little cafe.
Neal's Hell, it could be Lord of the Rings DVD production factory, but I don't think.
I think the catacomb is hell and the cafe is the heaven.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think the French had the new wave, and then they transferred to the underground. So we'd said cinema.
Okay, so points to L'Exorcist. They found in 2004 a fully operational movie theater equipped with a screen, projector, and seats, as well as a fully stocked bar.
Oh, that's cool.
It's crazy.
When we were in Paris, we wanted to go to the catacombs to look at it, and the line was too crazy, and we just didn't get a chance to book the tickets in time. But it looked really, really cool. But a lot of people I know go in there like illegally, not on the tour, and get lost, and then the police have to go in there and find them because they freak out.
You got to be prepared if you're gonna do that.
Can you imagine seeing What Women Want in that theater?
That's a real horror.
That would be great if it was only showing like rom-coms, and
The real horror is
It's
Mel
just
Gibson.
Jack and Jill. It's
Yeah.
just Razzie Withers.
Little Nicky, yeah.
All right, question number 5. Put your shoulder into it. Most think of Michael Keaton when they hear Beetlejuice, but the character gets its name from the 10th brightest star in our night sky. This red supergiant is also one of 7 main stars in what constellation?
Yeah, we're locked in.
That I figured.
So Beetlejuice is in what constellation? Mm-hmm. What do you think? The
I
Big
don't
Dipper?
think-
One of the dippers?
No, I don't think it's one of his parts of his belt, but I think it's part of Orion.
Oh, okay. Maybe part of the club?
Yeah, that
Okay.
seems right.
Like I said last time Orion got brought up, it's the only one I can point out pretty much. So
Maybe one of his bones that's not connected to another one.
I think this is one of the ones that the Red Hot Chili Peppers wants to teach you a lot about, as they teach you about the Pleiades, because I think it's the Pleiades.
So points to Lexus Chainsaw Massacre. It is Orion. Beetlejuice is the top left shoulder
right.
of Orion. Yeah.
should have listened to the clue.
Oh, yeah. And with Matt, great thought process on that, which brings you guys to 30 points. So we're tied at 30. It's a great poll.
All right. So question number 6. Here's what really happened. 1985's murder mystery comedy Clue is known for having 3 different endings. The first 2 attribute the murders to a single character, while the final ending finds all but one person guilty. Which two characters were the murderers in the first two endings, and which character saves the day in the last? And I'll give you guys a hint. The hint is the first two killers are women, and the last one who saves the day, of course, is a man. Because of the 80s.
We can lock in.
Matt,
Have you seen all these, Neal? Is that why?
Yeah, I love Clue. Yeah, I know the endings very well.
I was saying about how I watched it once very inattentively, so I'm going to need your help on this one.
So for the women, probably Mrs. White.
Okay.
Isn't that one of the characters?
Sounds good.
My Clue knowledge is also not very good, and they changed one of them
Okay.
since the movie. Maybe Miss Scarlet. You think she seems like a murderer?
Scarlet and White, sure.
Yeah.
And then who saves the day? Colonel Mustard?
The Colonel? Yeah. Can't go wrong with that. He's
Mustard.
a decorated veteran, probably.
I think, if I remember, it's Peacock and Scarlet are the killers in the first two. And then now I'm second guessing after hearing what you said, but I know that Wadsworth is shot by a gloating, whether I can't remember if it's Mr. Body or the killer. Anyway, I believe Wadsworth gets killed, so it would not be one of the killers in the third one when everyone is a murderer.
Okay, so no points. Neal, you were close. The two killers in order are in the first ending are Miss Scarlet and then Miss Peacock. And then Mr. Green, who is Michael McKean, he is revealed to be an undercover FBI agent at the end, and he saves the day. So,
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
question number 7. This one's for all the marbles. What land animal runs up to 30 miles an hour, sleeps 16 hours a day, and kills around 500 humans every year?
Each individual one kills 500 humans?
Yeah, it's a slaughter. It's amazing.
We need to wipe the species out. They're a threat.
That makes sense. That's a pretty deadly animal. Are you locked in over there?
No.
Okay, so we'll lock in. We'll lock in.
Matt, did you have a good idea?
I think that this is a grown-up moodang. Is that
hippo?
possible? A hippo.
Oh,
yeah.
the marbles? Yeah, hungry hippos?
Yeah, and I know they're fast, and then they're very murderous. They have murder on the brain.
Let me make a quick comment. I like it when the internet memes are baby hippos and stuff like that instead of Hawktua, stuff like that. So let's keep the baby hippos.
You want to give
that
Moodang,
genre.
Moodang should have a podcast.
Yeah, let's keep that genre going.
We agree. We said the hippopotamus.
Yep, points for both sides. Yes, a hippo is the deadliest land animal in Africa. They kill more people a year than even lions. So, and along Ken's lines, what Ken was saying, I am in full agreement. I got Hawktua on a text chain and had to Google it, and now I'm just even more disappointed in humanity. Like I said, I'm not online, so I don't. People have to feed
more
me this
moodang
stuff.
memes.
I'm very grateful that I have apparently the algorithm knows me, and most of my Instagram feed at this point is cute puppies. So
There you go.
I do love the Moodang meme of Moodang coming out of the chest like an alien.
Just for the record, I believe episode 2 of our podcast was called Prolific Killers.
and it was about the
And
hippopotamus.
it was about the hippo.
Oh wow!
Callback.
Call back to 700 years ago.
when this humble podcast.
Now we're getting into some existential horror here. We're all going to be dust soon, so.
Not before we crank out 1,000 words.
Well, like Agatha Christie, I say that she wrote Poirot's Last Case and put it in a drawer until she passed away, which was Curtain. We've recorded 100 episodes that are under lock and key that will be released upon our deaths. Now, if they're any good, that's a different story, but they'll be released. And that's when we'll go viral, I'm sure.
And then we'll have our revenge.
Yeah.
Okay. Question number 8. If you want to communicate with the dead, you'll have to shell out $20 to Hasbro for an official Ouija board. Though we all know the name Ouija, where does the board get its name? And I will accept 2 answers here because there is some debate over the board's history.
All right, we have an idea. It might be too simplified, but we're going to lock in. And I have a Ouija board story that I don't know if I've told before, but I'll tell after.
I can't imagine we still have. I mean, we started out with so many Neal stories in the early days.
I'm sure I've told
We
it.
want to hear it again. Matt, could this be that the Ouija board named itself in the first Ouija session?
Oh, like they said, "What are you called?" and then that's what it spelled out.
Yeah.
If that's not what actually happened, it's a great selling point and great marketing by whoever created that. So I think that could be what they say anyway.
Okay.
We think it might be a translation of like speaker talk, and I kind of have a gut feeling that it's the combination of we, yes, and ya from another language. We put we, ya.
Oh, yeah. The we and then ja being French and German.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if this has ever happened, but points to both teams for two different answers. So
that has never happened.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
So, yeah, some believe that the board is a portmanteau of yes in both French and German, oui and ja. And other people, there was a famous medium who first used the board named Helen Peters Nosworthy. And her first question was, "What is your name?" And Ouija, the board spelled out Ouija. So, points.
I love that.
Yeah,
It's probably that one.
Let's have
That's
the story.
right.
I can't remember if I
We're
told
going
it.
to keep this as a jumbo episode, too. I want it all.
I don't know if I told this or I might have early on, but basically, I don't want to out who it was that it happened to, just out of embarrassment. But
To protect the identity of the innocent.
It happened to Neal.
So it was not me. It was not me. So my brother and two friends, my friend James and then someone else, we were in a garage, and it was nighttime, and we're like, hey, let's crack open the Ouija board. We've never done it before. And we get into it, and it's not really working. And then it starts kind of working, and we're, at first we're like, oh, this is stupid. It's not working, whatever. But then it really starts working, and we get someone who's very animated and talkative, and they're talking to a spirit. They're talking to the third friend, who we'll call Dutch because of Dutch boy. So the third friend it's me, my brother, James, and Dutch. So the spirit is talking.
You son of a bitch.
You son of a bitch. So the spirit is very talkative, and all of a sudden it goes, Dutch, are you single? And Dutch is like, yes. And what do you look like? Oh, I'm 17 because we were in high school. I have blonde hair. I used to work at the county fair, and they're going back and forth. And Dutch goes, dear, I forget the name of the spirit. We'll say, I don't know, Alexis. Dear Alexis.
Alexis is on the mind.
Dear Alexis, what would you do to change me? Because I don't have a girlfriend. I really want a girlfriend. And Alexis was like, I think if you shaved your facial hair, shaved your beard, any woman would love to be with you. And then we kept going.
This is because it was the early 2000s.
It was the early 2000s.
Yeah.
So we
now
had this.
Things have changed.
We had this full night or whatever, and 2 days later, I happened to see James, and I happened to see Dutch, and Dutch comes with a fully shaved face, clean shaven. And years later, maybe like
barbershop,
like
close.
barbershop, very clean. Like he never had a clean shaven face before. And he did right after this Ouija board experience. And then 5, 6, 7 years later, my brother goes, "That was all me, Dutch." And he was just messing with him. And he just, for an hour and a half, flirted with him with the Ouija board and got him to shave his beard.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Your brother is the right kind of chaotic.
Yeah. And I didn't even know he did it either. It was a complete surprise to me, too. So he got us all. It was great.
That's
Thus
amazing.
proving there is such a thing as chaotic good.
All right, question number 9. Vampiro was not a fan. Cassandra Peterson was born in Kansas in 1951. In the 70s, she appeared in Fellini's Roma, dated Jon Voight and Robert De Niro, and became a showgirl at the Playboy Club. But her biggest success came in the 80s after she joined the improv group The Groundlings in LA and created a Valley Girl character with a hint of the macabre. This would become her namesake. Who is Cassandra Peterson better known as?
Yeah, we are locked in. I know this one quite well.
I think Justin might have a picture or poster of her on his wall. I don't know.
This is Elvira?
I was going to guess Elvira just based on it sounds familiar. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it is. I remember kind of looking up like, oh, who is this actual person? And I kind of remember the name Cassandra.
I only remember her from selling Doritos in the early 90s. So
All right.
Late at night.
Yeah.
I love that she was an improv artist and came up with this. Yeah, we agree. We think it's Elvira. And then Justin, you can correct us if we're wrong. She did a bunch of like collabs with Pee-wee, I think. But yeah.
Yeah, so points to both teams. That was Elvira. And yeah, she was really good friends with him in real life. And yeah, she actually appears in Pee-wee's Big Adventure as the only woman in the biker bar scene. She's the woman who picks him up off the table and says, I say you let me have him first. So that is her in non-Elvira garb. So yeah, good job.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, question number 10 to finish round one. I was far too old when I learned this. Auschwitz and Birkenau are forever remembered as World War II Nazi extermination camps, but the camps were named after rural towns they were built in. In what country do Auschwitz and Birkenau exist?
Lock in.
Yep. Yep. I've been to Germany, and it's not in Germany. It's in neighboring Poland, I believe, because we were thinking about taking a detour over there, and I don't think we were able to get to it, but we were thinking about it.
Yep. We confirm it's also Poland.
Yep. Points for both teams. My wife's family is from a small town in Poland close to Auschwitz, so we went over there to we went to Krakow and then to her parents' hometown. And I was surprised to find out that Auschwitz was not in Germany, because I was a 2.1 student. I was a C+ student. C student. I was yeah. So no, good job. Points to both teams.
A Polish Chicagoan, that's rare.
I know, it's so bizarre.
Both teams picking up 40 points in that second half. We're still tied at 70.
I'm glad it's a tight contest. The scariest thing that could possibly happen is that we lose all of our patrons, because the support means so much to us. You can be a supporter too. Get rid of these ads for just a measly $1 a month. If you're feeling a little more generous, for $5 a month, you can get all of our bonus content, which includes weekly bonuses.
Oh, what a treat.
Yeah, what a treat. That's not a trick. It's a treat. Weekly bonuses, including our crop drops. A reminder that our patrons are responsible for making us able to do the new mini episodes that have been airing. So that's all thanks to our patrons. The more patrons we get, the more content we can produce. Please do consider supporting us if you haven't yet.
It's like Renfield, right? We need someone to go and get us the blood, because we need the blood to keep going.
That's right. Now, Neal, last time I did a Patreon drop, I completely botched the website. So what is it?
It is patreon.com/trivialitypodcast. Slash that web address. Slash.
Scary.
Can I say something about Patreon?
Yes.
I am a supporter, but I've never been, I've never listened to a crop drop or anything special, like anything extra. I support you guys because I know, the amount of work that it goes into putting in, that you guys put into doing something that you love. I had a project myself that I worked on for like 10 years for free. I just want to say that if you're listening and even if you're not interested in the free stuff, the quote unquote extras, support these guys just because it's a better way to spend your money than probably mostly anything else you're spending it on. So,
Well, we appreciate that.
Thank
you so much.
Of course.
And with that, let's go ahead and jump on into the swing round. What do you have for us today?
All right. So the swing round is called the Devil's Seed. So for this round, it'll be a before and after, and you will need to connect the names of two horrible quote unquote parents, I use that term loosely, to come up with the name of a terrible or their terrible offspring. So for example, if I were to say the killer of Nicole Brown and Ronald Goldman and David Berkowitz's nickname, you would come up with, hopefully, O.J. Simpson of Sam.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I was getting there.
Yeah. It's okay. I know. Sorry. Okay. So question number 1, He-Man's arch nemesis and a horror film subgenre first used in the early 2000s to describe Saw and Hostel. Number 2, Dennis Rader's modus operandi and a far-right terrorist organization of racist white people who are too chick to show their faces. Number 3, one of America's few female serial killers and a classic film vampire who only exists because they couldn't secure the rights to Dracula. Number 4, America's favorite sweater-wearing dad, pudding lover, and rapist, and Satan, literally. Number 5, the campus or lady killer, and the infamous man in sunglasses who hijacked a plane and then disappeared forever. Number 6, a Supreme Court justice who keeps blaming his flag-waving wife for everything, and an alternative rock band named after a Monty Python sketch, best known for their 1991 single, All I Want. Number 7, the killer clown of Des Plaines, and the company that is the subject of the 2013 documentary, Blackfish. Number 8, the Milwaukee Cannibal, and the 4th studio album from Mariah Carey, which has been ruining my holidays for 3 decades now. Number 9, the woman who took an axe and gave her mother 40 whacks, and the guy who hosted SNL's Weekend Update for 6 years in the 1980s, back when he was funny. And number 10, the drummer who forced Sussudio onto the world, and South Carolina's Republican senator since 2003.
All right, we have our questions, and we will be back with these horrible, horrible children.
RH, quer saber como voar no trabalho? É só usar a Flash. Com a Flash, você concentra toda a gestão de pessoas em um único lugar. Faça a admissão dos colaboradores e solicite mais de 8 categorias de benefícios. Ah, e você ainda pode fazer todo o controle de ponto. Conheça o novo onboarding integrado da Flash em flashapp.com.br.
From the creators of the popular science show with millions of YouTube subscribers comes the Minute Earth podcast. Every episode of the show dives deep into a science question you might not even know you had. But once you hear the answer, you'll want to share it with everyone you know. Why do rivers curve? Why did the T-Rex have such tiny arms? And why do so many more kids need glasses now than they used to? Spoiler alert, it isn't screen time. Our team of scientists digs into the research and breaks it down into a short, entertaining explanation, jam-packed with science facts and terrible puns. Subscribe to Minute Earth wherever you like to listen.
If you're listening to this podcast, then we know you love learning. So let me tell you about Airwave History Plus, now available on Apple Podcasts. Airwave History Plus is your ticket to ad-free listening, bonus content, and early episodes from dozens of the most popular history podcasts, including History That Doesn't Suck, The Explorers Podcast, The History of World War II, Queen's Podcast, The History of Egypt, The Age of Napoleon, and more. For your free trial, search Airwave History Plus on Apple Podcasts and hit subscribe. That's Airwave History Plus, available now on Apple Podcasts. Airwave History Plus, the essential audio destination for history lovers.
And we are back with these very gruesome answers for the devil's spawn. Let's have the questions one more time.
All right. Question number 1 is He-Man's arch nemesis and a horror film subgenre first used in the early 2000s to describe Saw and Hostel.
We have skeletorture porn.
We said skeletorture porn.
Sorry.
You wrote it, man.
I know I wrote it, but there are just certain things I can't not laugh at. Yes, points for both teams, skeletorture porn. Question number 2, I should say Skeletor and torture porn. Skeletorture porn. There you go. Since I'm old and maybe I'm the only person who knows Skeletor. All right, question number 2, Dennis Rader's modus operandi and a far-right terrorist organization of racist white people.
Yep, because he liked sandwiches with bacon, tomato, and kale instead of BLT. BTKKK.
We think it is BTKKK.
All right, great. Again, points for both teams. BTKKK, BTK for Dennis Rader, and KKK for chicken white people. Here we go. Question number 3. One of America's few female serial killers and a classic film vampire who only exists because they couldn't secure the rights to Dracula.
Eileen Warnosferatu.
Yep, Eileen wore Nosferatu.
You guys are doing really well. Yes, points again. Eileen Wuornos and Nosferatu for Eileen Nosferatu. Question
I think
number
by far my most anticipated movie right now is the new Nosferatu.
Oh, the Robert Eggers.
Oh, yes.
I'm just wringing my hands in anticipation for that one.
Question number 4. America's favorite sweater-wearing dad, pudding lover, and rapist, and Satan.
We said Bill Cosby Beelzebub.
We agree, Bill Cosby Beelzebub.
Again, I'm sorry. There's it's so stupid. Yes, Bill Cosby and Beelzebub for Bill Cosby Beelzebub. Yes. Question number 5, the campus or lady killer, and the infamous man in sunglasses who hijacked a plane and then disappeared forever.
So we know that the hijacker was D.B. Cooper. We don't know the first one, so we made up a name for him. We said his name is Larry D. Cooper.
We think this was, I guess at one point played by Zac Efron. We said Ted Bundy B. Cooper.
Oh.
Yes, points to L'Exorcist for Ted Bundy and D.B. Cooper for Ted Bundy B. Cooper.
Should have thought a little harder about that one. I didn't know he operated on campuses.
Mm-hmm.
He did.
Primarily, yeah.
Especially at the end.
Zac Efron.
Should have watched the movie.
Yeah, you're good.
Nah.
Question number 6. A Supreme Court justice who keeps blaming his flag-waving wife for everything, and an alt-rock band named after a Monty Python sketch best known for their 91 single, All I Want.
Well, we really had a pick of Supreme Court justices, but we went with Samuel Alito, the Wet Sprocket.
Yeah, we think it's Justice Alito, the Wet Sprocket, or Samuel Alito, the Wet Sprocket.
Yes, points for both sides. And man, watching, Ken and Matt fall back into that was amazing.
That one came down at the end.
It was so good. I didn't think you'd get there, but you did. So yes, points to both sides. Question number 7, the killer clown of Des Plaines and the company that is the subject of the 2013 documentary Blackfish.
We would say that's John Wayne Gacy World.
We agree, John Wayne Gacy World.
Not to be confused with John Wayne Gacy World.
Yeah.
A failed project that I tried to get off the ground.
Not very fun.
It is the worst theme park ever. Points to both sides. John Wayne Gacy and SeaWorld, John Wayne Gacy World. Question number 8, the Milwaukee Cannibal and the 4th studio album from Mariah Carey, which has been ruining my holidays for 3 decades now.
We know it's Jeffrey Dahmer. We don't know the name of the album, so we just thought maybe it was Merry Christmas. We just said Jeffrey Dahmer Merry Christmas.
We agree. It's Jeffrey Dahmer Merry Christmas.
Yeah, points to both teams again. Oh. And that is going to be, I hear, the hottest selling Hallmark card of Christmas. Question number 9. The woman who took an axe and gave her mother 40 whacks, and the guy who hosted SNL's Weekend Update for 6 years in the 80s, back when he was funny.
We said Lizzie Borden, Dennis Leary.
This one's gonna kick you guys. You should have gotten the right answer, babe. It's Lizzie Bordennis Miller.
Oh, that's what I meant.
Yep. Yeah. So points to L'Exorcist. It is Lizzie Borden and Dennis Miller for Lizzie Dennis Miller. And finally, question number 10.
We all make mistakes, Matt.
It's okay. Mm-hmm. Some more than others, and Dennis Miller definitely more than anyone else. Question number 10. The drummer who forced Sussudio onto the world and South Carolina's Republican senator since 2003.
We said Phil Collinsey Graham.
We agree, Phil Collinsey Graham.
Yep, points to both sides again. Phil Collins and Lindsey Graham. I know people love Phil Collins. I'm sure you love Phil Collins, Neal, but me not so much. It's fine.
No, I know you hate Phil Collins.
But he's not a monster. You just dislike his music.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, no, not like Todd the Wet Sprocket, who has killed dozens of people from what we know.
After the swing round, it was a true swing round. Not a huge swing, but still one nonetheless. The Lexus Chainsaw Massacre missing 3 questions in that swing round, which will give them a score right now of 105. And the Lexorcists getting all 50 points, bring their total to 115. So 10-point difference, but still anybody's game.
We got to call in Max von Sydow to lay the smackdown on your ass.
It's so weird that you bring that up because that was almost a question later on. All right, here we go. Round 2, question 1. Brainy as a dead man. Miss him. The Smurfs was a cartoon fixture of the 1980s, but while over 100 individual Smurfs exist, like Papa Smurf, Vanity Smurf, and Smurfette, one off-color Smurf who appeared in only 8 episodes stands out as, quote, the personification of a Smurf's innermost selfish desires, end quote. Who is this Smurf?
I'm not up on Smurf lore, unfortunately.
Me neither. Should I just take a guess?
You're not a Smurfer?
No.
I don't know what their fan group is called.
The Butthole Smurfers.
This one is...
That might be the best thing I've heard in
Matt?
so long.
Yeah, I think the name might be familiar if it was multiple choice, but I'm not. We're never gonna pull it, so just make something up.
Okay.
I just thought of a great, it's a
We're locked in.
Smurfer porn universe. You got the Butthole Smurfers, then you got.
Come on, man.
Is this like jealousy?
Yeah, maybe
No,
like
that-
green with envy, maybe like envy.
Greed or like
Well, green with envy,
Lusty
or
Smurf?
what color is
Lusty
jealousy?
Smurf.
Like yellow? Is it like a yellow Smurf?
jealousy is like a red, usually red, like a passionate, like a.
I think they're all blue guys.
We're looking for the color though, right?
It's borderline personality Smurf.
No, you're looking for the name, but it does say
Name of the
one
Smurf.
off-color Smurf.
Off-color
Oh,
Smurf.
color.
Greeny.
Or what's an off-color joke?
Oh, what's
Like
what's
a blue joke, but they're all so
like
maybe
an
blue.
off color of blue.
Yeah.
I mean, blue is kind of like.
How about just bluey? I don't know. But that's
or
like the cartoon for kids.
It's like
different
another
thing.
color, like azul. That's just.
I like
Spanish for
Azul.
Blue
Let's do Azul. That's a good name.
or chartreuse or
Azul.
something. I don't know what are blue colors. Vermilion? No, that's green, right?
We'll say Azul.
What are blue colors?
All right. Well, if
knows?
the Smurf's a different color, maybe it's green. We often hear green with envy, so we're gonna say it was Envy Smurf.
Okay, so no points for either team. This Smurf was literally named Devil Smurf. He was red, had horns and a tail, and he would appear regularly opposite Angel Smurf in a battle of the
Oh,
So
yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen any Smurfs.
No.
yeah.
Ken was a Snorks guy.
Question number 2. Is that so? English novelist Charles Dickens had a pet named Grip that would bury items in his garden and bite his children. Though Dickens fictionalized this pet in the historical novel Barnaby Rudge, it's better known as the intruder in another author's 1845 poem. What is the poem and who is the author?
I think we're all locked in here.
I'm a very big fan of these intelligent birds.
I figured you would be.
Nevermore answer this.
Yes.
We said it's The Raven by Poe.
We agree. The Raven and Poe.
Yep, points for both sides. The Raven from Poe. His Dickens talking raven would go on to inspire both of them. So it's pretty cool.
And just for clarification, Edgar Allan Poe, not Poe Dameron from the Star Wars
Correct.
films.
Yes. Although his horror stories are also great.
All right, question number 3. Donner, party of 4. With a population around 4,000, the Korowai are a clan in Papua, Indonesia. For centuries, they've lived in tree houses in the jungle and didn't even know that other people existed on Earth until the late 70s. But they're probably best known as potentially being the last group of people on Earth who still regularly practice what?
Mm-hmm. Reluctant.
We're going to say cannibalism?
That's where I was leaning, so
Yeah, the hint leans me that way as well. So we'll say cannibalism.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if it was like done as like a punishment to individuals in the group, but we said cannibalism.
Yeah, so points for both teams. It is ritual cannibalism. I guess it doesn't matter what kind of cannibalism it is. It's still cannibalism. Though something interesting is that in recent years, it's been speculated that they no longer practice, but say that they do to encourage tourism.
Say that they do to encourage tourism?
They do. They say they still do
see.
it to encourage tourism.
I see. I would say it to hope that nobody would come.
Yeah, right.
Like,
Right.
leave me
Maybe
alone.
they have the wrong idea about what we all think about cannibalism.
Right. But Jeff, you don't have an awareness of the world we live in.
Yeah.
That's
Like, I bet people out there love cannibalism.
Well, they're like, we love cannibalism. Other people must love it too.
Right. All right. Question number 4. AOOA. In Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, the Torrance family consists of father Jack, mother Wendy, and son Danny. But what is the name of the character that lives in Danny's mouth, communicates with him through his finger, and shows him the future?
Should be.
I'm locked in.
Yeah, I think we're gonna lock in with Red Rum.
You sure about that?
No, I'm not.
You sure about that?
I'm not. I'm trying to remember. It's been so long.
Neil, I'm doing the little finger thing yet, Neil.
I know.
You don't remember?
I can't remember the name.
All right.
You gotta use.
I don't remember
Shannon.
who was in Danny's mouth. I don't remember.
We're going to say Tony.
Ah, yeah, that's right. Tony Almeida from 24.
No, it's not Tony Almeida. I love Tony Almeida, though.
It's Tony the Tiger.
Tony Danza.
All right. So the answer is Tony. Yeah. AOOA is Tony Danza.
So name.
There you go.
That movie scared me so bad when I was a kid.
It's still scary. We watched it last week, and it is still horrifying. Yes.
See, I wasn't allowed to watch like R-rated stuff or horror or anything like that. So I watched it at my friend's house, and that was my first scary movie, and it was a little too much.
Yeah.
The Shining was?
Yeah.
When I was in middle school, I just happened upon it late at night in the summer on cable, and I couldn't even bring myself to turn it off. I was so horrified, terrible. I love it, but it is horrifying. Yes.
Yeah.
And to think to this day, you still go to bed in bare pajamas.
I do. I absolutely do.
True story.
And I chase my wife through a maze before we, Question number 5.
Well, you gotta end the day somehow.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
In this economy,
You got to spice things up.
amazed.
Question number 5, the number of the president. After his presidency, Ronald Reagan and his wife Nancy moved into a home on St. Cloud Road in Bel Air, Los Angeles. But soon after, they requested to have their address officially changed. Why?
So do we think the number of their home address was 666?
I was thinking that. What is? There was the other the hotel room number. That
I don't think Reagan would be aware of that enough.
Yeah,
to
you
care.
think it'd be more devil panic.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Okay.
Plus, he said the number of the president instead of the number of the beast. So
I
think
yeah,
666.
yeah.
Yeah, we think it must have been 666 that scared him.
Yeah, so points for both sides. When they bought the property, their address was 666 St. Cloud Road, but they had it changed to 668, which I guess you can do when you're the president or former president. So, yeah.
After the first 5 in the second round, looks like Lexus Chainsaw Massacre picking up 40 points, bringing their total to 145. And the Lexorcist is going to be at 150 after picking up 30 points and 5 ghost points that decided to haunt a little bit later in the round. So
They found 5 points in their trick-or-treat bag that they had forgotten about
from the
earlier.
swing round.
Yeah.
All right, on to question number 6. Quite the CV. According to their IMDb profile, what one-named talent first appeared as, quote, Ghoul Man Skeleton, uncredited, end quote, in Ed Wood's 1957 film Plan 9 from Outer Space? Since then, they've appeared in more than 24 films, including 1963's Jason and the Argonauts, 1980's The Shining, 1988's Beetlejuice, 1992's Army of Darkness, and 2001's The Lost Skeleton of Cadavra. And I also have a hint. And the hint is their biography lists them as being 5 feet 4 inches tall and the father of an equally famous acting offspring of the same name, who also has an IMDb profile.
All right, so these other guys have locked in with a guess. I've got no idea. We think maybe it's some kind of animal or a prop. We don't think it's human.
Yeah.
Coco the monkey?
Coco the monkey.
My guess is, Jeff, that it's the clues in here lead me to believe it's not like an actor. I just don't know who it would be. I know Jason the Argonauts, famously Ray Harryhausen movie for its skeletons, and the same skeleton makes an appearance in Army of Darkness, but I don't know the name of the skeleton, so we'll say it's Goulet skeleton.
Mr. Bones.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna need some advice on this. So this is one of my favorite questions I've ever come up with. The answer is skeleton. There is, if you go to IMDb, a character, an actor, a talent called Skeleton 1, who is the father of Skeleton 2. And this skeleton has appeared in all of those movies. So it's not Goulet skeleton, but the answer is skeleton.
I feel like if Neal knows the story, kind of, that this skeleton's been in multiple movies.
But I mean,
I'd say no. It's no points.
We knew it was a skeleton.
Yeah, I'd say no points. I should have just said skeleton.
Yep.
Yeah.
You should.
But I know exactly who you're talking about.
You should go and read their IMDb.
Are we still saying
page.
who?
Or what you're talking about?
Or what? Well, that's why it's never.
It could have been a who.
It said the question is what one name talent, and then I refer to them as they. I never say one way or another.
Yeah.
But you should read their IMDb page. It is amazing because it talks about like all the roles they've turned down. It's great. It's fantastic. So
that's so funny.
Question number 7. Never forget. What tragic historical event claimed more victims? The San Francisco earthquake of 1906, the September 11th terrorist attacks of 2001, or Hurricane Maria in 2017?
All right, we are gonna lock in here.
I tend to think it's the earthquake. I know that the buildings weren't very conscientiously built with earthquakes in mind in San Francisco at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there were also like fires that happened as a result of it. I wouldn't be surprised to find out it was the earthquake.
My gut initially said earthquake too, so we can go with it.
All right, you guys going with the earthquake. We're going to go with Hurricane Maria, considering the amount of destruction it left in its wake and maybe fatalities that could have happened as a result in the subsequent days and months.
All right, so points to Lexus Chainsaw Massacre. So at the time, San Francisco's 1906 earthquake was thought to have only killed around 750 people. But keep in mind, obviously, that was 100 years ago. So as it became more thoroughly researched, they believe it's closer to around just shy of 3,000. The 2001 terrorist attacks claimed 2,996, but Hurricane Maria, which ripped through the Caribbean in 2017, claimed officially 3,059 victims.
Oh, wow.
That was very close.
All right, question number 8. Any questions? When Tom... Sorry. Like you can know where this is going. Okay, here we go. Question number 8. Any questions? When Tom Hanks first portrayed the cult classic character David S. Pumpkins on SNL in 2016, the sketch originally had him performing alongside that week's musical guest, who would appear as Mrs. David S. Pumpkins. She ended up passing on the skit to prepare for her musical number instead. Maybe she should have used that excuse to bow out of this year's biggest box office bomb. Who was that week's musical act?
We think we have a good guess. We're going to lock in.
Well, Lady Gaga is in the new Joker movie, which people don't like. I actually, don't come at me, people, but I liked it. I thought it was suitable. But
lots of people are saying it's not that bad.
Just saying. Do you want to go with Gaga?
Yeah, let's go with the Gaga.
Yeah, we think it's Lady Gaga.
Yep, points to both sides. It's Lady Gaga. Ken, I got to be honest. I am shocked you saw it. I haven't seen it, but I'm surprised you saw it. But.
Well, I'm actually shocked that despite the bad reviews, people are not seeing it. You know what I mean? Like, I think people would want to see it for themselves anyways. Like, based on how well the first one did, I'm shocked that the numbers are so bad.
No, yeah. I mean, but I don't see movies because I have 2 kids.
People see bad movies all the time. But I really didn't dislike it. I liked it.
No, it's good to know.
Sorry, America.
Wow. You have a conscious and an opinion of your own. That's shocking.
Unacceptable, really, if you think about it.
You know, I'm just so against the grain, you know?
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah. That's you.
Counterculture.
All right.
Man likes comic book movie.
Question number 9. I wish I may, I wish I might. 1982's Thriller is easily Michael Jackson's most popular album, song, and music video. But it wasn't always going to be that way. The song originally had a different title and lyrics, but was changed by producer Quincy Jones, who felt the song wasn't strong enough for a single. What was the song title that would eventually become Thriller?
All right, he said, I wish I may, I wish I might. Usually these words are associated with wishing on a star, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So it's
I would
something
agree.
with a star.
It's possible. I'm trying to think of, like, if you take out the spooky tones of the song, if it has any kind of, like,
Gonna
other...
be a movie star.
Yeah.
Maybe. But we'll say it's called movie star.
Yeah, we had no idea. We knew the clue as well. We just said North Star, maybe like You're My North Star. I don't know.
Okay, close but no points. The song is actually called Starlight, which you can ask, play on Spotify or whatever. It's really bizarre because it's Thriller, but with just completely different lyrics and comes across as like not good or less good.
So they did record it.
Oh yeah, it's recorded and it was released on an album, like a 40th anniversary of Thriller. It is so jarring. I played it for my wife and kids the other night when I found out about this, and they're just like, "Why?" I'm like,
and you had to go buy a fainting couch.
Yeah. So yeah, you should check it out. It's called Starlight. It is very bizarre. So. All right, the last question of round 2. Question number 10. I'm not the Antichrist, but I do play one on TV. So I'm going to name 10 performers. 5 of them have portrayed the devil in media before, and 5 have not. All you have to do is tell me if they have or they haven't. And 1 point for each correct answer. Number 1, Dave Grohl. Number 2, Kevin Spacey. Number 3, Armie Hammer. Number 4, Tim Curry. Number 5, George Burns. Number 6, Sean Diddy Combs. Number 7, Bill Cosby. Callback. Number 8, Roseanne Barr. Number 9, Mel Gibson. And number 10, James Woods.
All right, so we think we're for sure on James Woods. We think Roseanne definitely played it once in one movie we can't remember as a kid. We know Dave Grohl did for Tenacious D, and we know Tim Curry did in Legend. So we're just down to between George Burns, who played God, and Bill Cosby, maybe as a fun throwback to earlier in the game. So what do you want to go, Jeff?
We'll say George Burns also did the devil. Maybe there's a little bit of a parody there.
Okay. We said the devils were Dave Grohl for Tenacious D, Tim Curry. We said yes for George Burns. Who was the last one that you mentioned?
James Woods.
James Woods, of course, Hades, so that's a yes. The other yes, we put Mel Gibson. We think maybe he was the voiceover in Passion of the Christ for when the devil is whispering in parcel tongue to Christ.
That's appropriate. I think I would have to do the math. I'll go through each one again, but I think it's 4 points for each team. So Dave Grohl, yes, played the devil in Tenacious D, both in the music video and the Tenacious D in the Pick of Destiny. Kevin Spacey, no, has never played the devil, but in real life. Armie Hammer, no. Tim Curry, yes, played the devil in Legend, of course. George Burns played both the devil and God in Oh God, You Devil. So he's a yes. Sean Diddy Combs is a no. Bill Cosby is in a really weird movie called The Devil and Max Devlin with Elliot Gould, where he plays the devil, which is really creepy looking. You should look it up. Roseanne Barr is a no. Mel Gibson is a no. And then yes, James Woods played Hades in Hercules. So those are the 5.
So I believe that would be 8 points apiece.
Okay, so after regulation, it looks like the Lexorcist still behind a little bit with that final 8 points, brings us to 168, and the Lexus Chainsaw Massacre with the 8 points still in the lead with 173.
And before we get our categories for the final round, just really quick, want to remind you one more time to check us out on Patreon if you have not yet. You can do as little as $1 a month to get the ad-free episodes, eliminate these Patreon ads, in fact. And then you can do $5 a month to get all of our bonus content, which is weekly drops. It's thanks to our patrons. We can provide all the mini episodes and all the bonus episodes that we bring you guys. The more Patreons we have, the more content we can create for you. So please do consider contributing, even at a minimal level. Higher than that, you can get posters, loot boxes, whatever you'd like. So please do consider going to patreon.com/trivialitypodcast. What are the final round categories?
All right, it's very close. So on to the final round. The 5 topics of the final round will be: number 1 is Reese's, Kit Kat, Snickers, Baby Ruth, and Milk Duds.
Looks like both teams are going all in for the final round. A little Halloween surprise here for the final round. So let's go ahead and get the questions.
All right, question number 1, Reese's. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups are my favorite Halloween candy, and Reese Witherspoon is an actress. Though she's now mostly known for portraying entitled rich white women, in 2000 she appeared in a satirical horror film as the fiancée of the lead character. What is this movie? Question number 2, Kit Kat. Immigrants of Springfield, Ohio are not eating people's pets, but that doesn't mean those pets won't gladly eat their owners. Based on a 2020 scientific study, within 1 day, how long will a domesticated pet cat wait before eating the corpse of its recently deceased owner? Number 3, Snickers. Created by Mars, Snickers were first introduced in America in 1930, but when the candy bar was released in the UK in 1968, it was called a marathon bar. Why did Mars change the name for the UK? Question number 4, Baby Ruth. Most believe Baby Ruths are named after baseball legend Babe Ruth. This makes sense, seeing as how the candy bar was renamed from Candy Cake to Baby Ruth in 1921, which was the same year that Babe Ruth set his 3rd home run record. But when Ruth sued the Curtis Candy Company for using his name, they swore that the bar was actually named after someone else. Who or what did they say that it was named after? And now just a little bit of a clarification here. It is after a specific person, but if you give me, it's hard to say, if you give me the general overall, like what this person was, yeah, we're good to go. Okay. Question number 5, Milk Duds. Other than the obvious that they're kind of boring, why were Milk Duds named Milk Duds?
All right, those are the questions. We'll be back with our answers and find out who will be today's Scream of the Crop.
You can spend less time staying in the know about all things gaming and get more time to actually play the games you love with the IGN Daily Update podcast. All you need is a few minutes to hear the latest from IGN on the world of video games, movies, and television with news, previews, and reviews. You'll hear everything from Comic-Con coverage to the huge Diablo 4 launch. So listen and subscribe to the IGN Daily Update wherever you get your podcasts. That's the IGN Daily Update, wherever you get your podcasts.
Calling all kids in the car. Brittany and Meredith here from the chart-topping Family Road Trip Trivia Podcast. Are you dreading another silent car ride with the fam? We've got the cure. 3 rounds of fresh trivia every single week. Movies, music, even science and Disney. We've got something for every trivia buff in the car. No more crickets chirping on those long journeys. The Family Road Trip Trivia Podcast is your secret weapon for connecting and laughing with kids of all ages. Teens, toddlers, adults, it doesn't matter. Spark their curiosity and challenge their brains with every episode. New episodes drop weekly wherever you get your podcasts. Search for the Family Road Trip Trivia Podcast and turn those car rides into epic adventures.
Want to learn how you can make smarter decisions with your money? Well, I've got the podcast for you. I'm Sean Piles, and I host NerdWallet's Smart Money Podcast. On our show, we help listeners like you make the most of your finances. I sit down with NerdWallet's team of nerds, personal finance experts in credit cards, banking, investing, and more. We answer your real-world money questions and break down the latest personal finance news. The nerds will give you the clarity you need by cutting through the clutter and misinformation in today's world of personal finance. We don't promote get-rich-quick schemes or hype unrealistic side hustles. Instead, we offer practical knowledge that you can apply in your everyday life. You'll learn about strategies to help you build your wealth, invest wisely, shop for financial products, and plan for major life events. And you'll walk away with the confidence you need to ensure that your money is always working as hard as you are. So turn to the nerds to answer your real-world money questions and get insights that can help you make the smartest financial decisions for your life. Listen to NerdWallet's Smart Money Podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
We are all locked in. It's time to find out who will be today's scream of the crop. So let's go ahead and get the questions one last time.
All right. Question number 1. Though she's mostly known for portraying entitled rich white women, in 2000, Reese Witherspoon appeared in a satirical horror film as the fiancé of the lead character of which movie?
I don't know if it exactly fulfills the plot point there, but we said Little Nicky because we remember she was in that.
Yep, we knew that most likely the reason her relationship with the lead character probably didn't work out is that she didn't like Huey Lewis in the News enough. So we said American Psycho.
Yes, so points to Lexorcist. It was American Psycho. Question number 2.
Have you seen Neal and Jeff's answer? Oh my God.
The future Mrs. Patrick Bateman.
Really embossing.
Question number 2, based on a 2020 study, which within one day, how long will your domesticated pet cat eat your corpse?
So Matt's initial answer was wild. How long did you initially say?
I thought it was like within 3 hours. This cat's going downtown out here.
Which I mean, I don't necessarily disagree. I've known cats that when they miss their feeding time, they get pretty hangry. We're hedging our bet, though. We're saying 2 days.
Yeah.
So it's still pretty quick.
Yeah. We're saying it gives us 0 to 2 days. We're saying 1 day.
Okay, so points to both sides. So yes, the answer is well within 1 day. Matt is right. The study found that cats basically will start eating a corpse almost immediately, whereas dogs will exhaust literally all other edible options before resorting to eating its owner. In fact, they found...
So if you're thinking about getting a dog or a cat, just consider that.
Right? Yeah, well, I was saying the cats, they'll start licking their owner because they get anxious, and then they'll be licking and be like, you know what? This is some meat here. I think there's some meat on this bone.
Human meat.
Sometimes I do that when I'm like eating chips, just 1 or 2 chips.
Here's the thing: is like if you want to be buried or cremated and you can't decide, get a cat.
There you go.
Decide for you,
or I'll do it for you. Just give me a little bit on the side.
As a father of 2 children, I will say that they start trying to eat you before you're even dead. So cats are probably the safer route to go. Question number 3 was Snickers, created by Mars in 1930. The candy bar was released in the UK in 1968 under the name Marathon. Why did Mars choose this name change?
We said because in the UK, knickers means underpants, and they didn't want to be associated with underpants.
Yeah, we agree. We think there's probably some older folks who...
It's knickers, bruv.
Yeah, there's some older folks who are a little horrified at the term of a candy bar called knickers or knickers. So we said, same reason.
Yep, points to both teams. Yes, Mars changed it because nobody wanted to eat an underwear bar. And that name held Marathon.
Speak for yourself.
I guess it depends on the underwear. The name held until 1990 when Mars changed the name back to Snickers in the UK. So
people got over it.
That was so they can get over it.
Yep. Question number 4 is Baby Ruth. Who is a Baby Ruth named after, if not Babe Ruth?
Matt, you seem to know this one. Why don't you take it?
I couldn't remember I think it was either the CEO, the owner. It's their daughter or granddaughter. We're going with daughter. I think that's who it's named after. Her name was Ruth.
Maybe ours a little bit more.
We
macabre.
also said it was named after a baby named Ruth, possibly.
What did you get? Wait,
we guessed,
Well, we're a little bit more macabre. We thought maybe it was the kidnapped Lindbergh baby.
Oh,
we weren't
Lindbergh
sure.
baby.
Oh man. Okay. I don't.
Because then Babe Ruth's not going to sue you about the Lindbergh
the
baby.
original milk carton.
Okay. I don't even know how to give points here because the answer is
I don't think you can.
They said that the Curtis Candy Company, who was the owner of the Baby Ruth candy bar, to avoid being sued to basically make Babe Ruth go away, said that the candy bar was not actually named after him, but after a dead girl, specifically former U.S. President Grover Cleveland's eldest daughter, Ruth Cleveland, who had died 17 years earlier in 1904 at the age of 12.
So no score.
Nope,
Yeah,
points.
nobody's getting points for that.
I mean, you got a dead kid, so, you know.
I wouldn't have said Grover Cleveland's
it was
dead
macabre.
baby.
It was macabre as hell.
Yeah, it's very weird. But it's obviously
nice try though.
Yeah, right.
Nice try though with that. What a lie.
Although what's weird is the Curtis Candy Company got the lawsuit dismissed. So Babe Ruth
Nothing stokes
never
my
got
appetite like thinking about dead kids.
It's a home run for the candy company.
Last question. Question number 5 was milk duds. Other than the obvious that they're boring, why are milk duds called milk duds?
We said that because they were meant to be put into a milk beverage, like a shake or milk.
We're saying they were duds because they tried to make it different and they failed. They were like, well, we'll just sell these.
Okay, so I'm actually going to give points to Lexorcist on that because the candy company at the time was trying desperately to make perfectly spherical candies, like perfect shapes. And the machinery that they had in 1928, which is when they were manufactured and created, could not create perfectly spherical shapes, so they just called them duds. And that's how milk duds.
They had a lever that said perfectly spherical, and then on the other end it said rabbit turds.
And the guy who was supposed to hold the lever back.
Yeah,
there was someone's
called in
job
sick
back
that
in the day
day.
to hold the lever down.
Yeah.
We've reached the climax of today's horror film, and only one team is going to be the final girl here. It looks like the Lexus Chainsaw Massacre is going to lose 30 points in the final round, bringing their total to 143, and they have been decapitated and thrown into the river. And team Lexorcist picking up 90 points, bringing their total to 258 points, making them today's scream of the crop.
Just remember, guys, even Leatherface didn't start with a mask. He had to claim a couple victims and make his mask. So if you're feeling like a little put down or you can't get ahead in life, just consider Leatherface's story.
Right.
For a little motivation.
Get yourself a meat hook. A nice family.
You got to start somewhere. That's a good point.
Got to start somewhere.
Inspirational, really.
Thank you, Justin, for this awesome game as per usual. It's always great to see if everyone's better than the last. Anyone you'd like to shout out or anything you'd like to say before we bid you adieu today?
Yeah, sure. I will say thanks to the people that I tested this with. You know who you are. And hey to my wife and 2 kids who will never listen to this. So thanks.
Yeah, that's probably wise.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And speaking of giving thanks, Ken, we have to give thanks to our spooky landlord,
That's
Airwave.
Right. They're probably going to drop us after this episode, but for now, thank you to Airwave Media. You can find them at airwavemedia.com. Check out other great podcasts such as Pax Britannica, The Shallow End, or Your Brain on Facts.
Was that K-Pax Britannica?
No, not K-Pax. You say this every time. It's just regular Pax Britannica.
Okay. Thank you to Airwave for that. And thank you to everyone, as we said, for being Patreon supporters, for being listeners, for being our treats every year while we trick around. We appreciate it.
You're turning tricks?
Thank you all for doing that. Yeah, for Ken, Justin, Matt, Jeff, my name is Neal, and we'll see you next year.
Skeleton.
My name is Skeleton, and we'll see you next year for another rendition of Trick or Triviality.